All right, the shutdown, it's not a theory. Paychecks have stopped and public anger is exploding. Congress now has a 15% approval rating, collapsing fastest among its own voters. Americans are not really punishing Trump on this one. His points are actually up a couple bit since the shutdown have happened, but they are very mad at the legislature. They just see it as basically a useless institution that can't do the basic job of keeping the government open and getting people paid. Joining us now is Dave Dulio, director of the Center for Civic Engagement and Political Science professor at Oakland University. Good morning. How are you?
I'm well, Kevin. Good morning. Thanks for having me.
Yeah, I'm not surprised at the numbers. We weren't very happy with Congress before. We're definitely not happy with them now, but they are really abysmal.
Yes, this is one of those things that does not surprise us in looking at even the last, say, 20 years of political history. Congress at its 15% approval rating is laughable, right? However, in the second term of the Obama administration, they reached even lower than that, and it was the Congress had an approval rating then somewhere between 10 and 15%, and they even hit an all-time low in November of 2013, so about 12 years ago. Of 9%, single digits. And, this is one of those instances here with the shutdown where the public, as I've mentioned, right, has long-standing disregard for the institution. And we could talk about why that is, but they come to expect dysfunction and rancor and gridlock, right? But when we're in this era of a shutdown that's going on a month, it takes it to new levels, right? Where it's and you mentioned it, right? They can't even do the basic things. They can't even do their basic jobs. And the American people are at a point, I think, where they're throwing their hands up saying, get your act together.
I would think there's more than 9% of family members out there that would at least give a nod to we support Congress just because it's a family member. But those are really bad numbers. And look, I'm in the media. We have our own number problem. So I feel for them a little bit, but I also, at least I'm showing up and I'm doing my job. They have failed terribly. The problem is, they don't ever really get punished for it, and that's like they're a group. It's Congress. We don't splice them up individually very often. They're this big group, and we just don't like the job they're doing. And incumbents, I don't know the percentage of incumbents that win, but it's huge. It's really big. So what's the motivation for them to try harder?
Well, that's a really important point, and us nerdy political scientists, we call this Fenno's paradox, where the American public hates Congress, but they love their member. So it's which leads to, as you point out, incumbents get reelected all the time, and even in a tumultuous year, we'll see in the House of Representatives of those individuals who are seeking re-election, 94, 96, sometimes even 98% of incumbents get re-elected.
So is that why they stick to these talking points so hard, no matter what's going on and what's the question? They sort of stick to these talking points. Is that so that there are people who already support them can say, no, my guy's good. They're just trying to save healthcare or cut spending or whatever their person is saying. And it seems like very rarely does someone come out and just kind of tell it like it is.
To a large degree, I think that is true. And it's a matter of, why are all these incumbents getting reelected at such high rates? And that's a whole other kettle of fish. But one of the most important components of it is there are very, very few competitive elections in U.S. House races anymore, right? We will have 435 House seats up in 2026, and 400 of them will not be competitive. And that what that allows is those incumbents who are in those safe seats can just play to their base and not pay any price, right? Where it's, well, as you point out, right? Well, I'm fighting for health care, or I'm fighting to cut spending, and really the electorates in those districts just cheer them on.
Is it because the incumbents are able to raise so much money and have a huge money advantage, or because we're so lazy that we can only vote for the name we recognize when we finally get to the ballot box? We go, oh, I think I know that name. Maybe I'll vote for them.
There are many reasons that go into what, again, us nerdy political scientists call the incumbency advantage. And being able to outraise their opponents is one. The safe districts are another. The ability to do things for people and have a position of power, so that when election time comes around, they can point to benefits that they have brought back to the district in terms of, might be road funding or research and development money or other federal dollars that are flowing into the district. And some people would call that pork, but the representative would call that representation, right? And everybody hates pork except when it's in their district. Another one is name identification. And, very few Americans can recall the name of their House member, but somewhere 2/3 to 3/4 can recognize their member's name if it's presented to them in a list, say like on a ballot, right? And they say, "Oh, I know that guy, or I know that woman, and I'm voting for them."
Does the party protect the incumbents instead of encouraging primaries?
Oh my gosh, yes, and it's both parties and the different elements of them. And we'll just start at the top with, say, the Hill committees in Washington D.C. that are focused on winning House and Senate races. Their main goal, right off the top, is incumbent protection. Right? They want to have everybody that's in office back, because even if a member is kind of a pain in the neck sometimes and goes rogue or bucks the party line, having a Democrat or Republican in that seat for the party is a lot better than losing that seat, to their opponents.
Yeah, but there's got to be districts that are going to be either for sure Republican or for sure Democrat. It seems like if someone's a pain in the butt or not doing their job, you could run someone against them and get a better Republican or a better Democrat, but they don't really do that.
No, and you will see, primary challenges come out, and you're starting to see some of that, I think, on the Democratic side, right, where we're talking about Alexandria Ocasio-Cortez potentially challenging Chuck Schumer next year. Hakeem Jeffries, the Democratic leader in the House, might face a primary in New York, and we can find those really across the country. But I would argue that those aren't pushed by the party, but they are pushed by third party groups or factions within a party.
All right, Dave Dulio, Director of the Center for Civic Engagement and Political Science Professor at Oakland University. Appreciate you coming on today.
Thank you, Kevin.
Yeah. So, not punishing Donald Trump at the polls. He's up a couple points. Not that his numbers are good. I think he's at like 42%. It's not like America's in love with Donald Trump necessarily. But, since the shutdown, he's up a couple points. But Congress is all the way down to 15%. That is pathetic. Should we encourage people to run against the incumbents so that we can maybe keep the same party in office, but punish those who didn't do their job this time around? Your calls are next. It's All Talk.